Something that I'm watching in 2025 is going to be this really, really important thing, and that is the FCC and regulations. AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon have been kind of waiting for the opportunity to make certain moves happen, to make certain deals happen. And I think that's kind of going to be the point here in 2025, where we're on the precipice of opportunities for these companies to make huge deals. And the reason I say this is because right now, Chairman Brendan Carr of the FCC is looking at taking steps to cut down on regulations in the telco industry. He's currently seeking public comment on some of the issues, and what would essentially be happening is alleviation or removing the crackdown on telecom regulations. And the way that this would look would be AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, for example, and cable operators would obviously be involved, and other regional providers would be involved, would have an easier time making certain things happen. Whether it's mergers and acquisitions, or it's network build-outs, or it's any type of business transactions that they need to do. Think spectrum, think purchases, think acquisition of certain assets. All that's ripe for the taking in this administration, based on what I could see and based on what's kind of being signaled publicly. Now, there's a version of this where customers can win, right? Where the companies can actually produce better products and services, and by not being in a restrictive environment, they can offer enhanced versions of all these different products and services and do it at better costs. And then there's a version of this where the companies get so damn big because they just start buying up as much as they can. But the one thing that I will say is that these companies, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, do have a hell of a lot of debt, and their balance sheets definitely show it. So maybe it's not really about acquiring a bunch of different companies, and it's more so about being able to do more things that'll better serve America. There's possibilities of that. I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't have a crystal ball. I've seen some pretty nasty things happen when regulations get loosened. So I'm not going to be naive and say there isn't a bad outcome in this. There definitely could be. But I do believe that there is some truth to certain things getting out of the way of these network builders so that they can at least build bigger and better networks and offer enhanced services and better versions of the things that these carriers sell. So I think if you're selective, if you play it right, there's ways that customers can benefit. And I think, satellite connectivity, I think, fixed wireless access, a lot of the things that we've been discussing here on the channel for several years, this regulation easing could actually make those things better. From the business side, you guys know where I stand. When companies can run roughshod all over the place, they absolutely will. And they're powerful, and they'll flex their muscle, and they'll do whatever they got to do to make those deals happen. And, there could be a different administration in the next 3.5 years that could come in, but it's too late, right? And of course, there's always other regulations, and there's, the DOJ and other bodies, but I'll tell you what, man, there's versions of this that can get pretty nasty. And then there's version of this where things can get better. Hopefully, this is one of those situations where if they do ease the regulations, they do it in all the right ways. And that has to be carefully executed and has to be very calculated, in my opinion. Maybe Carr's the guy to do it. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll find out in 3.5 years when we can evaluate the job that they do at the FCC. That's the same stance I took last administration. And after that 4 years, I can honestly say it was trash. Probably the worst 4 years we've ever seen in the FCC. I'm kind of hoping that this one doesn't follow in those footsteps, and I'm hoping that it's not going to be worse. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, drop me a line. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out some more of our videos. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.